Welcome everyone. It's got some futures charted out here. I think we're creating a flat wave 4 right now. So, we'll see what happens. T1, you should be able to download my charts through the newsletter, but if you want to know my fib extensions, which one? This one? This one looks like this. So someone was asking me about the volume profile over here. Something new I've been testing out. I seem to like it. It seems to work pretty good for seeing where some major resistances are. Is that enough, Kha'Zix, or you want me to leave it up there for a second? Hello, Evan. Should be able to screenshot it and take it, so if you gotta look back, just know that it's about a couple minutes in. So, yeah, Nick, so if you want to add the volume profile, this little thing I got over here, it's called VPVR. It's in indicators, volume profile on the bottom, visible range. So volume profile, visible range, VPVR. And then you're going to want to click into the settings and change the row size. I mean, you can go higher if you want, but you want enough rows where you can see what's going on over here. And what this is really going to show you are your major resistance areas. So find your last retracement here, and then this is going to show you your major resistance areas. So when you see these peaks, that's a major resistance. That's a major resistance. This one, the biggest one's always auto-charted for you. So I'll show you down here. And you can see these peaks are major resistance. This is where the most volume was. So that's where you're going to have the most major resistance. And your areas of lower resistance, aka right here to here, are going to be where you have your fast movers. So the major resistance is going to move slow and choppy, and your lower resistance is going to have your lower volume. You can have it be moving a little faster. So hopefully that helped Mr. Kool-Aid Man. So I'm just going to go over futures a little bit here. As long as we don't go below this red line right here, this is going to be your confirmed wave 4. So thing is, the wave 4 can't go below the tip of wave 2 or wave 1. So you can see here I have that marked out here, and the little tiny wicks are okay. You don't want like a big movement behind here because these are wicks up here. So as long as this stays above 418, you know, SPY stays above 418, that means this is your wave 1, this is your wave 3, this is your wave 4, and we're going to have one more big move. Now, I'm not sure if it's just an ABC or if it's going to be an ABCDE. Generally, when you have a simple wave 1, the wave 4 is complex, so we will have to see what is up on that. So, I did want to talk about catalysts tonight. You know, we're about 10 minutes in, so the people that want to be here are here. So I have a site that I haven't shared with anyone, which I'm going to share with tonight. It's called Market Chameleon Company Events. Put that in the chat. This is a site you're going to want to bookmark. This is a very good company event website for finding. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. There we go. Alright, that should be a little better for reading now. So you can pick your dates here, and you can go in. So let's say tomorrow you wanted to know what tomorrow events are. We're going to go to June 1st. You can scroll down here. You can sort, which is really nice. So you can sort by market cap. So if you just want to go with the biggest ones, you can see which ones have company events tomorrow. You can see that here. If you want to sort by which ones are most active in the options market, you could search that here. That's going to be Tilray, AT&T, CRM, ACB. All these have something going on tomorrow that affects them. You can see what the options straddle is as well. So if you want to know what the implied moves are, those are also right here. You can also see what the info is. If there's info on a specific event or catalyst, they also share what that is here too. So if you want to be like, alright, well, you know, let's see, where's a ticker? You know, all these huge straddles are going to be your biopharmas that have something crazy. So let's look at like the market caps. Let's go by the big market caps. So for instance, you want to know what's going on with Salesforce, you can see the president and CPO is going to speak at this telecom conference. AT&T president's going to speak at the telecom conference. So this is a way you can find out, hey, I'm in this ticker for this week. Let me go look and see if they have an event this week. This is free. This is not through me. This is just a site I found that's really cool. So Market Chameleon is another one of those sites out there that tries to provide a lot of good info. And why not give all that info to us to have us use? So again, you can go here, you can find all your events, you can search by day, look at the options straddle, see what the info is if there's info, look at the options volume, try to find your big catalyst. This is one way of finding catalysts. Another one is through an earnings calendar. So if you want, there's earningwhispers.com is a really good earnings site. They have a calendar on here. You can search by day, see all the earnings for the days. So you can click on the day, see all the big earnings for the week. And the nice thing about that is, let's say, this is a heavily shorted stock, ASO. They have earnings. You can go there, you can see what their estimate is, you can see what the consensus is, you can see the pivots, you can see the trends, the growth. They have a lot of good info. They have a subscription. If you wanted more info, you can get in there. But for the free version, it's pretty good. So I really like this for another version of a catalyst. Earnings Whispers, really good earnings catalyst calendar. Earnings is one of the biggest catalysts you can have in the stock market. And then there's the biopharmacatalyst.com as well. So this is, you can look up the PDUFA calendar here. So here, let me I'll link all these for you in the chat. There is the earnings one. Here is the biopharma one. There's also dividends can be catalysts. So for this, you can see what the companies are, when they have events here. So if you want to know priority reviews, aka PDUFA dates, these can be huge catalysts. You can click on it and it'll give you information here, and then you can look up, they have Opdivo coming up here, and you can see what that's for. They also have their FDA calendar, biotech IPO calendar. So this will tell you, what stage all the drugs are in, what the catalyst is in, when it was last updated, and so on and so forth. So if you like playing biopharmas, which can be some of the biggest movers in the industry, this is a great source, these three things. And if you wanted to look up the dividends, you can find those. Yeah, I can turn the music down, sorry. Is that better? It's getting a little loud, I know. The piano can be too soothing and put you asleep. So we'll put some more upbeat music on, but we'll turn the volume down, obviously. There we go. Yeah, I know. There's no happy medium, Nick. Some people love the music, some people want to hear me loud and clear, but yeah, so knowing the resources to find the catalyst is one thing. When you know the resources, you need to know how to put them to work. And each different resource has a little bit of a different way of going about it. For instance, like dividends. So let's go back to TradingView. I talked about this in the newsletter. This is a runner-up that I had for the newsletter, Steel D. So one thing you can find with stocks that have high dividends, for instance, Steel Dynamics here, which is a stock I love right now. You can see their dividend was paid out on March 30th, and you can see what happened. So we had a nice run-up into there. This pays out a 1.7% dividend, not bad. And typically what you'll see is not necessarily the days before. So the week before, you can see there's a run-up, and then there'll be a huge sell-off. But the important thing is if it's a good dividend stock and has good growth, that dividend is usually bought up immediately, and you can play literally like the morning of. You could buy the morning of the dividend, and you usually get a nice run, and that can be a really great way to play it. So you can either play the run-up, or you can short it into the dividend the couple days before. So for instance, this was the day of into the dividend. We had this was basically a bump and run. So you see we had a clear uptrend here, and then you had a push above, and that means this was the bump, and then the run back down. So this was a combination of things. You're playing the patterns, but you're also playing the dividend. So one way to play the dividend is play the run up, short it. If you get a bump and run like this, short it back down. But the most important way that I have found through all my back testing, I'm going to move this line so we can see here. So you can see this got shorted down and then bought back up and then came back down. But because of the industry this is in, this could be an outlier. But let's go to a hated stock, ZOM. They have a killer dividend. Look what happened here. This is what I was talking about. So here's their dividend right here date. You can see this right here. So the stock opened right here, fell from $60.50 all the way down to $59.99 or $60. So this fell 50 cents. And Tommy, it's a built-in indicator. It's just indicators, volume profile, visible range. This one right here. So getting back to ExxonMobil here, like you can see these dividends, they tend to gap down and then fill the gaps every time. So you could buy this on open and usually expect a good run the majority of the time. Again, it has to be a good stock and have a good dividend. The combination of the two, if it's not a good stock, not a growth stock, or the dividend is so minute that it doesn't create a gap, like you usually want those 3 to 5%. So you do have to have a subscription to TradingView. See, I didn't know that. I apologize. But VPVR is the one. I'm sure there's some knockoffs of it too that you could find. There's also another one on the left here. I forget where it is. It's so you can actually do the fixed range volume profile. This is another one if you wanted to see, let's say, from just this range to this range. You can actually see the volume profile for the given range. And you can mimic it that way. So if you don't have this one, you could always do it with one on the left as well. So there is one built in over here called fixed range volume profile as well. So if you don't want it to change with time and you're just curious what the volume profile is on this specific move for future use, you can use it that way. So back to playing Catalyst. So you can see, this is one example here on this dividend here, payout. If we go back further to the last one, you can see this created a heavy drop here, but then was bought up. And that's typically what you'll see is the drop on these big dividend stocks, and then they get bought up. So this one, didn't work out as well that day. This is an oil stock, so again, you got to make sure that the market catalysts don't drop it down. But it did drop down and then got bought up a little bit to fill the gap, but in the end sold back down and then eventually rallied back. But so keep attention. So again, like if it drops down and starts to fill that gap, it's most likely going to fill that dividend gap, and these are great gap plays to play. So that's one way to play dividend. Let's try to find a company event here. So let's find one Friday. Let's go on here. Let's find a big one with good options volume. AT&T seems to have future of 5G event. This is interesting. So the future of 5G event could be an interesting catalyst this week. Let's talk about this one. So GoTo used to be GSX and they renamed their ticker. Let's talk this one and let's talk some 5G. Is that all week or is that just... Okay, sounds like the 5G event's just Friday. So there's a couple tickers we could talk with 5G. Let's talk about the Goku. What was it, GoTo? Yes. So GSX is a ticker we've played in the past, and it's been getting annihilated lately. Like this thing, this thing was $150 not long ago. Like literally the beginning of the year, $150. It is $17 right now. You can see here, it's got room to run to $30 again, but it needs to break this downtrend. So is this the week that does it? I'm not sure. But it'd be interesting to watch it. So for me, like if you find a positive catalyst, like say this event for GoTo. So they have a general meeting. So I'm assuming this is earnings. Or they just had earnings. So maybe, and earnings weren't so great. Looks like their last 3 earnings have been shit, which is probably why they've been tanking. But the revenue's been up extremely, but they can't seem to generate a net income lately. So what you'll be looking for here is probably a break over 20. And then it can run. So at least the 22 is filling this gap. So the catalyst you have could be the catalyst to get it back over this downtrend line. And that's what you want to play. You put it on your watch list, set your alert, and if the catalyst pushes it above, play that catalyst into Friday, and then sell it before the event. So with these catalysts, you want to buy the rumor, sell the news. You probably have heard that before if you're in trading. When you're buying the rumor, what you're doing is you're buying the build-up. You're buying what's going to happen into it, the unknown. You're buying into the unknown. As soon as that known becomes an actual known, if it's not way above what people thought it was going to be, you're most likely going to get a sell-off. So it has to be extraordinary good news for it then to go above and beyond. And 9 times out of 10, it's subpar on almost everything I've always seen. Every now and then, you're going to get this news that is great and fantastic, and then it's going to push it up. But at that time, you could just buy back in with the confirmed anyways. So it's the anticipation, as Dagus is saying here. So 5G, AT&T is on the agenda, but it's not just AT&T. So AT&T got annihilated recently, but it does have a nice gap. So this for me has to get back over this volume right here. Once it gets over that, you could maybe see a nice gap fill up to 30. Well, this is a nice gap on ANCT. And this kind of move, this $1.50 move, because of how cheap AT&T contracts are, could be a 600 to 800% move in a day, potentially. So keep this on your radar, because this is something to watch Friday. Also, actually, hold on one second. I'm just going to set this for the group right now. There. Now we won't miss that move. So, this is one way to play a catalyst. Check to see what's on the chart, see what's coming up, and if that catalyst can spring us there, that could be really nice. Another couple ones to keep in mind on this catalyst is you got Nokia. Nokia is also a short squeeze target. So if you can get a catalyst that can trigger a short squeeze, that could be very profitable. Problem with Nokia is it has a huge market cap per share, so it's heavily, what do I call it? It's got a heavy float, so it takes a lot of volume to move it, so it's a slow mover. And a $5 stock isn't going to make you a huge return, but you need it to move like 50 cents, which is like a 10% move for it to do something to really make you money. So it's good to keep on watch. There's just better things to play. I'd rather play Qualcomm over Nokia, in my opinion. What I don't love about Qualcomm, I can see it almost immediately. You can see the clear uptrend, but it looks like it's almost done. It's got this rising wedge. The only thing that could save this, in my opinion, is if this rising wedge is actually a channel like this. So maybe it could come up to there. We'll see. Yeah, Dagus, I could see that. So again, let's find a good earnings this week. Let's find one Thursday. Oops. And then Friday. Let's look at advanced auto parts. So Advanced Auto Parts has been on a tear this year. All these consumer stocks with the reopening have just been absolutely on a tear. And you can see this has had a sell-off recently, but you might get a run-up here. So you got an A, B, C, D, E down here. So this could be the start of a reversal. I don't know. Based on their earnings, earnings have been really good this year. They've seen really good growth. This could be a candidate for a run-up. So let's just talk about how to play this, and then we can move on into some requests here. Let's see, they have before market open. You can see, look at all these growth numbers, just fantastic. So if they have a good beat, this could, in theory, because it's beat down, actually have a nice run up to 202. This could be, if you look at the last earnings, this last earnings went from 150 all the way up to 170. $20 move. That's a big move. Last earnings before that sold off a little. Last earnings before that, it spiked to 170 and then sold off down to 155. So you gotta look at the trends in the past. This one looks like it likes to spike and then sell off. Almost every time it spikes because their earnings are good and then sells off. So you don't want to play the actual earnings. What you want to play are the run-ups. See these run-ups right here? See these run-ups? Run-up. See these huge run-ups that they have in the earnings? This is what you want to play. These massive run-ups right here. This is how you play earnings. If they're expected to be good, you'll get these run-ups like this. And you can play those. Never hold through earnings unless you like to gamble. But you can see these stocks like this. If you know earnings are coming and they're expected to be good, you could buy 2 weeks before and play these run-ups. And you can see it's already started. So you got this run-up right here, and you could see this come up here and move towards 193. So you might catch a $4 or $5 move tomorrow into earnings. That's how you play earnings. You play the run-ups. Never play the actual earnings. Oh. Excuse me. All right, 1 second. Alright. Alright, let me look at futures real quick and then we'll get through a couple tickers for everyone. Looks like futures are retracing a little, nothing to be afraid of. Might open up somewhat flat tomorrow. Looks like it hit the 50% retracement on the dot. And then kind of reversed here. Futures are extremely fib friendly, like extremely fib friendly. Fib friendly. So, yeah, I'm already in Apple Kool-Aid King. So, I definitely will be playing Apple this week, depending on how tomorrow and Wednesday goes. So, let's see here. Let's look at NQ1. This kind of has a flat, which again, for me, like, this is your wave 1, this is your wave 3, this is your wave 4. So I've seen this everywhere. This is your truncated wave 5. Not positive this is how this is yet, but this makes the most sense to me. You're showing 4 fingers. Maybe 5. I can't see if the thumb's folded or not. Alright, been getting a lot of people typing requests in here through here in the Discord. Let's see if we can get to a couple of those. You didn't say how many fingers are you holding up. You said how many fingers am I showing. Those are 2 different answers. I know tech has been on our watch list for a while. I've been watching this. It's pretty close to breaking out in my opinion. I mean, it's consolidating right at the 382 retracement here. So this thing gets over 25, go long all day. I have very bullish on tech. I think this thing is going to do great. So, you know, it rebroke this resistance through with power, and now it's consolidating into a nice flag right here, pennant, whatever you want to call it. So I really like tech. Alright. We could talk about some banks. Saw D King asked a couple of times. Cloudera doesn't matter. Nothing about Cloudera technicals, fundamentals, nothing matters. All it matters is what they're being bought for, and that's what the price is going to be, and that's all you need to find out. You cannot play it at this point. You would have had to be in before today. So we're not going to even look at the chart or anything tonight because it won't matter. They're getting bought at $18 a share. The price will be 18. If it's at 20, that'll be 20. If it's 22, etc. The only thing that would change it is if it's shorted. Hold on, let me look what the short float on it is. So it's got a 6% short float that could push the price temporarily above what it's being bought at. And that would be the only way that you would see it arriving above what it's actually being bought at. Hold on 1 second. So that's how you got to understand with like these takeovers that like Thomas pinged the server and was like, hey, we have news of Cloudera purportedly being bought out. You need to find what those details are and then go from there. So alright, let's talk about DraftKings. Want to get into some charts here. Don't have a whole lot of time left, but I wanted to get through some requests here. So let's look at the downtrend first. What are we doing on there? Alright, so you got a clear downtrend here. Hasn't been broken. You do kind of have a cup reversal here with kind of a Wu-Tang inverse Batman thing going. So you can see got this cup reversal here. Really for me, what I'm going to want to see is it's probably going to come back down and retest this breakout. And then probably do one of these. Then it can finally come up here, maybe make a wave 4, and then finally you'll get your wave 5 breakout. This is what you ideally would like to see happen. And this could be, you know, this could be a wave 1 impulse right here. You're going to get a retracement. It's going to happen. It's probably going to come back down somewhere in this range. So it'll come back down somewhere in this range right here before retesting this downtrend. This is a powerful downtrend, and it's been tested 3 times, so it'll probably break on the 4th time if it tests it again, but you're going to get a retracement here, most likely. Otherwise, hold on, let me check in a little bit. Let's get rid of some things here. Alright, so you kind of, I don't love this uptrend line. Let's try something different. Let's go low, It's a high here. So you guys kind of see the path it could take. What I'm showing you here is it bounced right at the fib line here, and you do kind of have some potential false amigos happening here. Not necessarily because they did overtake this candle, but you can see you got a doji here forming on the bottom. So I'm going to be curious to see how this doji plays out. You might get another retest here and then a final breakdown. Or the big point is it's going to break this. If it breaks this trend line, then you got to play this next trend line. If that goes, then it's definitely going down here. But if it breaks this line right here with volume, then it's game on. And that's what I would look for. Is it going to break the downtrend? And is it going to do it with volume? Because if it's a fake breakout, you could get trapped in a bull trap and then just get screwed. Harry, this is called visible volume profile, visible range. It's just something fun that I'm starting to play around with. I'm by far not a master at it yet, but I have found it useful. And so if I find stuff useful, I tend to play with it and watch it. I don't necessarily trade off of it yet, but I am watching it, and I know a lot of traders use it, so I'm playing around with it too, because like everyone else, I'm always trying to get better too. So if you're not trying to get better, you're just living in the past. So alright, let's take some other requests. What else do we have here? Alright, so I had a couple requests for Arrival. I think some people are interested in some of the meme stocks we have this week. I'm trying to look. I saw a bunch of requests coming in here. I swear to God, I have CWH in my breakout slurs. Yeah, look. Even had it previously charted. That's crazy. This looks interesting. I agree. Had some requests for Pfizer. We'll look at Pfizer here. Snap, I think, was requested. Yeah, I mean, this thing's gotta probably get over 45 again for me to be interested in it. I know everyone, because AMC is the talk of the town. Let's see, I think AMC is in Germany right now. So, it's one way. This is a unique day where overseas was open and we are not. So this is like a one-time thing where you can kind of predict where some stocks are going to open based on that. So I will go over Apple. Disclaimer: I do hold a position in Apple. but I think I can explain why I'm an Apple and maybe you'll understand. The gain down? Don't know if I know how to do that. Why don't I move it away from my face? How's that sound? Is that a little better? Could be too close to my face. So, alright, cool. I got a new headset, so I'm still kind of getting used to it. I shelled out for one of those fancy ones. Alright, so let's look at... Had a lot of requests for Snap, so we'll look at Snap. Hey, look at that. My chart is happening exactly. So I had this charted out back at $60, and I think it's going to 65. So I already got it charted out for you. I watch it, so. So Eric, this is like a 3-4 times a year thing that you can do with today the market's being closed in America but open overseas. A lot of times these charts tickers have overseas tickers as well on different stock exchanges, and you can see how they perform there, which can be a precursor how they're going to perform here. Normal, I am from Wisconsin, USA, close to Madison. So Snap, if you're watching this, I still think this is right. I think it's going to retest this breakout up here close to 65. Actually, with the volume profile, I'd expect that to be right around 65 exactly. It's still clearly in an uptrend. Until it breaks this uptrend, there's no reason to believe that's not going to happen. I think it's going to be a repeat of something like this. So, we'll look at Apple. Alright, so I've done a lot of work on Apple. I don't have all of it up here. We can start from scratch though. The big thing that you got to see on Apple, and this is what drew me towards it, is you just got absolutely it's almost at just stupid support right now. And it's not just that, like, it's got crazy good support right now. The only time it's ever broken this, it gapped up from 116 to it gapped up $7 the last time it broke the support. It snapped back so hard. So typically it likes to get close, as you can see a bunch of these times, and snap back hard. So you can see the volume has been dying ever since earnings, and when the volume dies and then comes back, that's when you start to get these snapback earnings. So volume dies, snap back. Volume dies, snap back. So I expect at least a retest of 128 of this volume right here, around 128. And if it can get over 128, it's probably going to 134. And that was my bet. You know, it's for me, a low risk, high reward. So you might get something like, it's not the right one, hold on. We'll just use the brush. So you might go down a little bit more. And then you might get some consolidation here. You know, maybe something like that. It might have a little bit more of a steeper recurve here. So you might get, you know, down. Maybe something like that. as it forms this full triangle out. We'll see. Yeah, WDDC is coming up. There's the catalyst for it. Like, I think it's on the 14th of June. So the catalyst for Apple is a week and a half away. So we could see the run up this week. So there is reason for it to move. And so in my opinion, based on where it's at, like, Apple is not undervalued either. Apple is not overvalued. Like, based on everything I know about Apple, and I've been watching it for a long time, I am not an Apple user either. But just based on fundamentals alone, Apple's is fairly, if not undervalued. Like, statistic PE 28, it's 30% behind SPY. 27 this last quarter. SPY PE is like 36, so there's at least a 25% upside here. So I think Apple will eventually be at 150. We'll see, especially for a growth stock like Apple. The price it's at right now is mainly from a lot of institutional dumpings, and I blame Berkshire Hathaway almost completely for it, actually. So you want a quickie on Lemonade? Sure. Wow, Lemonade's financials are terrible. I expect Lemonade to come back down to at least 77. It looks like he got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this could be done. If this does move up, this has room up to, in my opinion. So basically, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to draw a little box here. Below the box, it comes back down to 78. Above the box, it goes to 104. Maybe it goes up to 100 to 104 in that range. Well, a stock that goes from 188 down to $58 in 4 months, I don't know if you'd want to say good things about it. There's a reason for it, Eric. Alright. JPM. That is not JPM. I had multiple requests for this through different resources. Yeah, we can look at Tesla as our last one here. I got maybe 5-10 more minutes left I want to stream for. Financials in general look pretty good this week. JPM, of all of them, I don't know if I love this one. This is probably one that I don't love the most. I am a customer of theirs, so I can't say too much. Oh, man, banks are going to be bullish the entire year. I don't see how they're not. Like, they're so fundamentally undervalued these last couple of years. Like, every bank should be at least double what it's at right now. We've already looked at Snap, by the way, about 10 minutes ago. Kevin, have a great night, man. God, yeah, JPM, it's going to go north of here. I mean, if you want to know where it's going to go to, just do a quick fib extension here. And this move will probably take us to 176-ish. So this will probably take us up there. Banks, energy, and minerals are going to be the three hot sectors this week. So your XME, your XLOP, or your XM, X Mary Edgar, XME, XOP, or XLE, and then XLF. Or you could go KRE, KRB if you wanted true bank ETFs. So, alright. BAC is the exact same thing. Every bank you look at has this little pennant triangle formation. So this tells me they're ready for their last big move before a cooling off period. So every bank I've looked at has this type of formation, this triangle, ascending triangle, rising, whatever you want to call it. It's a form of a triangle, and every bank has it. So we'll do a quick woof. You want Wolf to hold at least 22. I got out. I couldn't handle it anymore. I had to sell. Did I get out? Let me look at this. No, I still hold Wolf, actually. I just had to double check this. The shorts, there's real no reason for Wolf to be where it's at. It should be much higher. The problem is there's no institutions buying it, so the short sellers are just literally having a field day. This is one of the biggest candles they've ever had, and it was entirely red. There was just zero buyers. And that's the problem. There's just zero buyers on it right now. And so, I mean, I think that's the huge problem on it. There's no, I mean, the revenue is going up. Assets are going down, but their liabilities are going down even faster. So they sold off some assets, but they paid off a ton of debt. Their book value is by far very rational. Their debt to assets is very rational. Price to book, very undervalued stock, but it gets no institutional love, so there's no buying pressure there. So unfortunately, we don't have any upwards pressure. So if this can turn around and get some volume to push it back up, get those shorts to cover, we could see some movement on it. We already did AMC. I did not do Zoom. Don't care about Zoom. Chewy has earnings coming up. I could see that Chewy running to $80 into earnings. So at least I can see that running about there. Alright, we'll end the night on Tesla. I want to say I already did Tesla in the server, by the way. So I'm just going to show you the exact same thing I showed in the server. There you go. There's my Tesla prediction. I already knew I had it charted, so let you just stare at it for a second, soak it in, see if that's going to happen. But if Tesla breaks this downtrend, then it's going to here. So your alternative, if it breaks the downtrend, is it'll run to 680. Alright, I got news on the Cloudera. So, Cloudera will open up tomorrow at, drumroll please, $16 a share. So expect Cloudera to open up in this range right here. You heard it here first, folks. Cloudera is going to open up around $16 a share. So, if you have leaps from my call out back in March, April, you will be up at least 100%, and you will be able to sell those immediately because there will be a ton of liquidity and you should cash in. There's no reason to hold those any longer. It's not insider trading. I just get pre-public news. Is there something wrong with that? I wouldn't short it. It's staying around $16 a share. Where'd you get that from? No, Cloudera got bought out. Another company is buying them for $16 a share. So they're going to be pinned at $16 a share, give or take a couple of cents. Don't you guys know how buyouts work? Come on. Cloudera is a internet cloud software packaging company, so they do like Google Cloud, like Microsoft Azure, and things like that. So Ryan, I could show you AMC real quick. So what I showed on AMC was twofold. Oops, hold on. What the? So real quick, because I know there's a lot of interest in it. So you have, oh, hold on. What I showed was you have AMC Entertainment, which has it's traded in the German stock exchange. So you can see here these two red lines. So this is where we closed here, and this is where they closed here. So these are equal points in time. And then you can see today, the 31st, it ran from 22 up to 25. So you can expect a $3 to $4 move on open tomorrow. Potentially this will open around $30, $31. So I expect this to gap up tomorrow to around 30, 31 on open, and that is my prediction. It is just a prediction, doesn't mean it's going to happen. So Blazer, my favorite stock is throw a dart at any mining stock. Silver, gold, palladium, steel, pick a mining stock and it's going to do great. So, alright guys, went a little over my allotted time. No big deal. I like doing it. So, hopefully you all have a wonderful night. I'm going to jump off and feel free to chat with me in the Discord if you have further questions. But I do think Nvidia is going to go to 700. We'll see, but I would not short AMC. I don't know. If you like jumping in front of a train, that's on you. So, you enjoy that. I'll make it a little pretty here. Let's share this chart in the Discord. Alright everyone, have a great night. If you short Cloudera, you are a straight fool. If you short AMC, you have a better chance than shorting Cloudera.